Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a truly fantastic day so far. In today's video, as you can see from the title down below, I'm going to be playing with some new makeup. Now, a lot of this stuff I already have reviews for on my channel, like first impressions, wear tests, all that sort of stuff. A lot of this stuff I've already tried before, but I'm sort of compiling it in a different way, using a foundation with a different primer, etc. Trying things out in a little bit of a different way. So let's just dive straight on in. I am trying out a new base combination. I really like these two separately, but I haven't used them together before, so I'm interested to see how these work together. This is the Collection Power Hold Gripping Gel Primer. Oh, and it matches my nails. I did not plan that, but I'm happy that that's happened, with the Revolution Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation. So I'm going to start with the primer, obviously, and I'm just going to take a couple of pumps of that and press that into my skin. So I'm just going to give that 30 seconds to sink in and get a little bit tacky. When I first tried out this foundation, I did a full day wear test. I'll link it if you want to see it. I didn't wear any primer or anything underneath this. I just put it on over the top of my skincare, and I really liked it, really enjoy it, but I felt like it got very luminous throughout the day. I didn't put any sort of powder on, so I'm going to powder today firstly, and also I'm going to try it over the top of that primer. So I'm taking a couple of pumps, and with my Real Techniques Seamless Complexion brush, I'm going to work this into the skin. I do prefer this foundation with a brush rather than a sponge. I do have a sponge here just in case I change my mind, but I do prefer it with a brush. And I'm also having a much better skin day today than when I first tested this out. I had a lot of redness. I'd like literally just got out the shower, and I think I'm getting to the bottom of like my skin being so red and like reactive. I don't think my skin likes it when I wash it in the shower. Maybe it's my shower head, I don't know. Maybe there's something going on there, or maybe I'm just, you know, in the shower and it's like nearly at boiling point because I like my showers really hot and my face is just too sensitive for that. I'm not sure, but either way, I just don't think that my face likes it when I wash my face in the shower, rather than just like washing it in the sink, which is what I do every single evening. But I think that's what it is. So I've stopped doing that. I'm trying to treat my skin a little bit kinder, and I do think it's been working. I feel like my skin's been happier the last like week or so since I figured that out. So I've just been blending all of this in, and in my far away mirror, which is around about the same distance as like my camera, this looks really nice. Then I got my mirror out. This is, I will zoom you in, this is separating. This is going so patchy and funky. Let me zoom you in, because this is going to have to come off and I'm going to have to start again. Like, we are getting real personal here. Look at all of that on my nose. Why is that going like that? I love this primer and I love this foundation, but together that is doing not great things. Like, why is it separating like that? Like, I've just been saying about how my skin is in a much better place, and this is just making it look like I have stuck pieces of flapjack to my face. And like, I'm pressing it in with the same brush that I always use with this foundation, and it's just separating and like coming off in big chunks. And I left 30 seconds to leave that primer to sink in. Something is going funny there. Let me take all of this off and I'll reapply that foundation without that primer. Okay, so that is all of that foundation removed. I'm just putting my moisturizer back on because I have worn this foundation over the top of this moisturizer before, so I know that that's going to be okay. The moisturizer that I'm talking about is the new one from the Enquiry list, the Bioactive Ceramide Repairing and Plumping Moisturizer. Really been enjoying this, despite the fact it is probably the most expensive skincare product that I've ever bought in my life, which tells you like the price point where I'm happy. So I'll just give that a minute. I'll give that a minute to sink in. I'm not taking any risks. Okay, so I've just given that like 5 minutes. I was just replying to some emails, etc. So I'm gonna go back in with the foundation. I feel like that's sunk in enough. Now cross your fingers, because if this doesn't go right, I'm just gonna log off for the day. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna say today was not a day for makeup, so let's try again. Okay, no primer with this foundation. Noted. You don't need a primer with it, or you don't need this one. This works so well with like so many of my other foundations, but something just wasn't quite vibing there. This looks so much better now. This is what I expected. It's smooth, it's a light coverage still, but it's not bunching up and falling off my face like a piece of flapjack. So for concealer, I have the new one from Technic, which I didn't love the first time I tried it, but like I say, my skin is in a better place now. This is the Look Awake Matte Concealer. It says it contains caffeine. Do I need that? Yes, absolutely I do. So I'm just going to put a little bit. I think the first time I tried this, I put too much on, so I'm just going to use a tiny little bit, just right on like the very inner corner of my eyes, and I'm going to use a brush just to tap this in and keep it like right in that inner corner of my eyes. That's where I have the most darkness. That's like the only place I really need it. Yeah, that looks nice. I think with this concealer, less is definitely more, and it's not giving me like the most amount of coverage. Like you can still see my dark circles a little bit. I've not been sleeping great, but that looks really nice. Like blended it out just a tiny bit with a brush, blended into obviously the very light coverage sort of skin tint foundation. I've got a hair, got it right. For bronzer, I don't have a new one, so I'm just going to go in with the Made by Mitchell liquid blush in Shady Business, and again just warm up the face a little bit with that one, blend out with a Real Techniques Expert face brush. I don't want too much, she says as she applies too much, but I've got a really exciting blush that I am so eager to get into, but I don't want my bronzer to be too much for the blush. So that's the bronzer all blended out. I feel like my lighting is a little bit off today. Maybe it's just my viewfinder, I don't know. So the blush that I'm so excited about, I got another shade of the Technic Glowy Blush Stick. This is the shade Peach Syrup. Look how incredible that colour is. Let me just squiggle it on the back of my hand. Look at that. I'm so excited. Ooh, let me get my brush. Where is it? Another Real Techniques Expert face brush. I will just pick that up off the back of my hand first. These are so glowy and so pigmented. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm really getting into a peachy blush. For the longest time, I didn't like peach blushes on my skin tone. I don't know why, because now I absolutely love them. It's so nice and glowy that it makes it look soft, because it's not like a matte like blob of colour on your face. Because it's glowy, it just makes it look more soft. And I do put this up slightly higher because it's got that glow in it. I feel like having it a little bit higher lets it catch the light a little bit more. I do also feel like this base is very, very glowy, so I am going to be setting it in a minute, but I just want to really, really work that blush into the skin. I love that colour. It actually looks like I've been outside in the sun, which firstly, I haven't been outside, and secondly, it's February, so there's no sun. So this is giving like a nice summery glow to the skin. I feel like this looks really nice and fresh. Oh, I love these blush sticks. Definitely gonna have to go on and get the last shade. I've got 2 out of the 3 now, and I need that other one because this just looks beautiful. Just tapping over with my concealer brush a little bit, because as always I went a little bit overboard. I feel like the skin's looking so good considering where we started having to take it all off. I feel like we've redeemed ourselves now. So I'm going to just do a little bit of powder. What powder am I going to use? I'm just going to go in with the classic, the Revolution one, the Duo one. I'll just go in with the loose powder on the bottom of there. So I'm just taking a little puff, and I'm just taking a really, really tiny amount of this, like really working it into the puff. And I'm just going to set just exactly where I need it in this little centre area here. Like, look, like this is too glowy for me, but where you just mattify the centre a tiny little bit, I feel like that really finishes it off nicely. Like it's still glowy, but just not sweaty looking, like down the centre of your face. Will also say this foundation sets down really, really nicely. I've been wearing it a ton, and it just looks so beautiful like throughout the day when you set it. In that first impressions video that I didn't set it, and it just looked a little bit sweaty throughout the day, but with a tiny bit of powder, like I barely put any powder on there, it still looks really nice and glowy, but with a tiny little bit of powder it lasts really, really well. I'm a big old fan. So I've also got a new colour of a brow product that I already like. So this is the Fluffy Brow Duo from Revolution. I do not know why I picked up medium brown. I have always been dark brown. So I picked up dark brown, the one that's actually hopefully the right shade for me. So let's see how this goes. I do also have the new collection brow glue. I also have this in dark brunette. This is tinted, but it's only ever so slightly tinted, so I'm hoping that these two together will work out well. So I will be right back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, I am the biggest fan of that brow combo. I feel like they're looking dark, but they're looking fluffy and still like natural. I've got the little hair-like strokes, but I also feel like it's glued to my head. This is a really phenomenal amount of hold. Like if you need a lot of hold and you want something that's a little bit tinted, this is the one. You all know at this point, I feel like I'm a broken record, but you all know my love for the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This doesn't have an incredible amount of hold. I don't feel like I need that, so it's just personal preference. But if you need a lot of hold and you want something ever so slightly tinted, the Collection Brow Glue is fantastic. So, onto the eyeballs. I'm wanting to use the Beauty Bay Reckless Romance palette again. Again, I've already got a whole swatching, review, everything of this, and I did more of a pinky look with it when I first tried this out. So I'm wanting to do something more in like the bottom half with the greys, something a little bit smoky, a little bit grey. My favourite shade out of this whole palette is Girlfriend, this one here. It's so bright and so reflective, so I'm going to try and not use that one today, just because I feel like I've used it a ton, honestly. Not on camera, I've only used this once on camera when I tried it, but I'm wanting to do something with that today. I'm just trying to find my Beauty Bay eye base. I'm just going to put a little bit of this across my lids first. So we are primed and we are ready. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, the same one that I always use. This is an LA Girl 2 3.2. I think I got it from Beauty Bay. I think I probably ordered it to, like, you know how sometimes they have an offer where it's like if you spend over £50 you get 10% off or something like that. I think I probably added this to my cart to make it up to that, and now it's the brush that I use every single day. So I'm going to go in firstly into, I'm going to start with Soulmate. This one here, I know I said I wanted to like stick with the bottom half, but I think for a transition this one will work well. So just dipping into that, tapping it off, and I'm going to run that through my crease. I don't know what I want to do today, don't know which shades I want to use. We'll make it up as we go along. So that is that colour just through my crease, and I did sort of pack that onto the outer corner a little bit as well because I think I want to go a little bit smoky today. I'm obviously going to be adding a wing. So I'm now going to go in with a much smaller, more precise brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Last Night on the bottom row. So getting a little bit deeper, another matte shade, and I will take that right on the end of my brush, just like that. Again, tap it off, and I'm just going to stamp this on the outer corner and then start taking that through my crease a little bit like that. So I'm sort of making a V on the outer corner, and whilst I'm sort of using this colour and also using this brush, I am just going to start working that along the lower lash line as well. So I'm almost doing, like, you know how you do like a 3 and an E with like your contour, I'm almost doing like a tiny little version of that on my eyeball. So I'm going round through my crease, along the lash line, and then under my eye. I would love to say that I know what I'm doing or I know what I'm talking about. I do not. I am making this all up as I go along, can you tell? So then once I've laid that colour down, I am just tapping over it all with the big fluffy brush that I started with, just to make sure that it's all really nice and blended, but no more colour. So now I need to replicate it on the other side. So I feel like we're getting there with the depth. Now, I always feel like I'm drawn to the warm tones, and then I do something really nice and cool and I'm like, oh, that looks glam. So note to self, I need to do more cool tones. I'm going to go into paparazzi because honestly I'm scared of leather. So I'm just going to go into the darker, like plummier tone, just because I want something a little bit darker, but I don't think I want black because black scares me. So I'm just going to keep that like on the lid on the outer corner. Okay, so I feel like that purple is just making my eyes go, ah, like my eyes look so blue. I feel like I really like that purple. Did I use that when I tested this the first time? Probably. I can't remember. I have slept since then, but I absolutely love how that's looking. It's really like, for me, it's really like vampy and dramatic. I love. So now I just need a shimmer, and I'm thinking, I mean, I want to do Girlfriend, but I've already used that one and I know that I love it, so I'm wanting to try something a little bit different. Do I go in with Mini Dress? This one. I also tried this one called Encore. Really like that one, but this is more cool toned, and I'm thinking that might look cute. So I'm just going to use my finger, just going to dip into that, the tiniest amount. Like, look at that colour. Don't mind my tiny little nail, I broke it. But useful so that I can apply this with my finger. That was absolutely the right colour to choose. That looks so vampy, so dramatic. I am not vampy and dramatic, but I love how that looks. It also helps that that base was still very tacky, like across the lid there. So that is like grabbing on. There is not a single speck of fallout. Obviously you don't generally get that when you're using your finger to really press it in, but that tacky base really helped with that. I'm just gonna layer it up a little bit more. Since we're here, we may as well. I feel like I don't even look like me. Like, this is such a lot of eyeshadow. Like, who is that? She looks fabulous. So I'm just gonna blend. I'm just gonna sit here and blend for a sec. So as much as I love, and I really do appreciate, like, grungy dark makeup, I just need it to be a little bit blended. Let me live. So I'm just going to take a tiny little pencil brush, and I am going to dip into that bright shade, that girlfriend shade, because I just want to really brighten up on that inner corner. Just want a little bit of that. I don't want it to take over that mini dress shade, but I just feel like it's not me without something really nice and bright on the inner corner. So I want winged liner and lashes, and I don't have anything new for that, so I'll be right back once I've done that. And then I've got a new lip combo that I want to try. I feel like it's maybe going to be a little bit much with this amount on the eyes. We'll try it anyway. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, the lashes and the liner are just adding to the drama. The liner that I used is the Studio London Define the Lines, and the mascara was the Lottie London Super Fake mascara. So that is what the eyes are looking like, all done. So dark, so dramatic. I feel like I don't look like myself. So let me zoom you out and we can do the lips. So the lip look that I have in mind, I was watching a video this morning from, I'm going to absolutely butcher her name, Angelica Nyquist. I think that's how you say it. I was watching that this morning, and she did a nude lip liner with a red lipstick, like tapped really lightly in the middle. So I want to try that, but with the new e.l.f. Pout Clout Lip Plumping pen, because it was like just a little wash of red, and I feel like that will work well. And the lip liner that I'm using is the MUA Intense Colour Lip Liner in Heroic. So obviously I'm going to start with the lip liner. I'm going to overline the lips a little bit and sort of colour in the lips a little bit, and then tap over with that red from e.l.f. So that is the lip liner, basically completely covering my whole lip. And now I'm just going to take a few little clicks of the new e.l.f. lip pen. I don't want too much, I just want a little bite of red in the middle. A little something like that. So it's a little wash of red. It's nothing too dramatic. It almost like fades out into that lip liner. And that's the finished look. I feel like this is really dramatic. I feel like this is really dramatic, considering my husband just asked me what was for tea, and I was like, burger and chips. So this is a lot of makeup for me to go and make burger and chips for me and my husband. But let me know what you think. Have you picked up any of these new products? I feel like we have been on a whole roller coaster today, considering we started by having to take off our whole face and then start again. I feel like where we have ended up is actually really nice. So the foundation doesn't work well with that primer, but it does work well just over skincare. The concealer, just a tiny little bit, blended right out, works a lot better than applying a lot of it. I really like the grey tones in that eyeshadow palette. The brow pencil, I feel like that is a big old win. I knew that I would love that brow pencil in a better colour. That just works so much better for me. I love the blush, the new blush. Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled with how all of this has turned out. But let me know, are any of these your favourites as well? Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Millie. I post 3 times a week on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. I am always testing all of the new products, the affordable products and the cruelty-free products. So if that's the sort of content you are into, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.